Hey, what is going on, Poke fans? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Another day, another video, and in today's video, we'll be looking at Spiritomb deck list. This is basically a Spiritomb box, as you can see, with plenty of different Pokemons, 19 Pokemons in total, and over 10 different Pokemons in this deck list. So let's first start with a Spiritomb, because Spiritomb is going to be our main attacking Pokemon. Ability, Building Spite. It says that once during your turn, you might put 1 damage counter on this Pokemon. For each damage counter on this Pokemon, Anger's Cry does 10 damage plus 30 more for each damage counter on it. So basically, with Spiritomb, you can hit for 160. 160 plus 60 more in case if you have Hustle Belt attached to it. So it means that you can hit for 220 damage in total. Being able to hit for 220 damage should be enough for the one-hit knockout against Zacian, for example, against the Dean, against the Oricorio, and so many other Pokemons in the standard format. To be able to have better matchups against some other decks, for example, like let's say Dragapult, you have Giratina with the Dimension Bridge. There is also a Nihilego with the Nightclap. Against, Ultra Beast deck, Tapu Fini can be attacked as well, and yeah, you can basically add even more damage counters with Galarian Zigzagoon, and for GX Pokemons with Shrine of Punishments, more damage counters between turns. But Shrine can also help you as well to get some damage in play, so you can easily move damage counters with Jinx, Amino's Posture ability. So let's start with a Pokemon lineup. I also forget to mention Buzzwole with the Sledgehammer against Pika Zekrom for easy 3-prize knockout if our opponent has 4-prize cards remaining, which is also amazing tech for this deck as well. So starting with 1 Galarian Zigzagoon, also 4 copies of Spiritomb, moving on to 1 Gami with the Sticky Membrane. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, opponent's Pokemon's attacks cost 1 Colorless Energy more, 1 Buzzwole, 1 copy of the Dean for a Daddy Change, 4 copies of Jirachi with the Stellar Wish, 1 Giratina, 2 Jinx, 1 Mew, 1 Nihilego, 1 Oricorio with the Dance of the Ancients, very powerful ability, which says that once during our turn, if any of our Pokemon were knocked out by opponent last turn, we can draw basically 3 cards. Really good ability in my opinion for this type of the deck. Also 1 Tapu Fini. Speaking about trainer cards, this deck plays 2 copies of Great Catcher as well as 2 copies of Boss Order, so we can be in a very good position to have ability to catch our opponent Pokemons from bench. 1 Ordinary Route, so we can recover some of the Pokemons from discard pile back into our deck. 4 copies of Quick Ball, obviously 4 copies of Scoop Up Net, as well as 4 copies of Switch. Additionally, 1 copy of Tool Scraper, and then Stadium Black Market for 1 less price card if our opponent knocks our Spiritomb with energy attached to it. As long as the Black Market stays in play, opponents won't be able to take a price card. 1 Shrine of Punishment, I mentioned it at pretty much beginning of the video. 2 Boss Orders, 4 Marnies, and 4 Research. 4 Supporter Draw, 1 copy of Skateboard, 3 Hustle Belts, and then 9 energy cards, 3 Aurora Energy, 4 Rainbow, and 2 Unit Energies, which means that we can also have that extra, Darkness, Fighting, and Fairy Energy, which is really interesting because we could even attack with Gami's Ram, attaching only Unit Energy without dealing damage to him. But obviously we really want to attach Rainbow Energy in the early stage of the game and find that Hustle Belt, so we can basically hit for 70 and deny our opponent from being able to play, let's say that GX with, ADP, or maybe attack with ADP or Zacian with 3 energy cards, because they will need 1 more due to the Sticky Membrane, which means that we can buy ourselves some time, and that can also be very disruptive against Dragapult as well. Alright, my friends, so this is the deck list that I will use in today's video. If you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Let me also know in the comments below what you think about this deck list, so see you in the game. Alright, so Pokegear 3.0, pretty much for nothing, energy attachment, and it is my turn. So let's go with a quick ball first, and let's grab first Spiritomb. Alright, so first Spiritomb taken. Gonna put him on the bench. We'll also use Building Spite. Attach Hustle Belt. Stellar Wish, just to see if I can find something useful. For example, Marnie for the following turn. I do have Switch, and I also have Rainbow Energy available in my hand, which basically means only one thing. I'm gonna switch into Spiritomb, plus I'm gonna use Boss Order and catch my opponent Volcanion and hit him for 70. There we go. So 70 damage, not too much, not enough for the one-hit knockout. I took the risk and I decided to hit for 70. I should better just build Spite a couple more turns, you know, and then just go for attack. But yeah, actually he had Welder for the bench at one. So we might actually see just a Flare Starter here, or actually a switch into High Heat Blast. So, okay, that's gonna be the case here. So it would be much better if I just decided to go with the Marnie instead. But it's okay, never mind for that. At least my opponent spent one Welder. And interesting that he also plays Jinx in his deck as well. Jinx can be very useful because you can move damage onto the Reshizard and then use Outrage in your favor. So let's go with the Marnie. Alright. Build Spite, of course. Then I will go with a Stellar Wish for the Shrine of Punishment. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. I'm probably gonna need it. Additionally, I will just use one more time that Stellar Wish. It is a quick ball. With a quick ball, I'm just gonna grab myself another Spiritomb, put it on the bench. And actually, let's go with Oricorio. That's a great idea. And also with a Dean for a fresh hand of 6. So I still didn't find myself a... Okay, actually I did find energy card. Let's see, let's go just with the Dance of the Tribute for now. There is a black market. I already used Supporter, which means that I'm just gonna Stellar Wish for now into Escape Board. That's perfect. That is a perfect. So do I want to go with my Ram on Volcanion, or do I want to go for the Reshizard? I think I'm gonna go for the Reshizard, just because maybe I get lucky here, who knows, we shall see. Maybe my opponent right now don't have another switch as well as Welder in his hand, so this Reshizard might just stuck in the front. Meanwhile, I can remove my Shrine of Punishment and I can put in play something like a black market. I can build Spite and I can try to find a Jinx and then simply one-hit knock out that Reshizard with my Spiritomb. So that is a way to go. There is a Fire Energy, but as long as a Sticky Membrane Gummy stays in the front, I don't need to worry too much. I can simply relieve and wait my opponent to see what he can do. So there is a... Okay, so he passed the turn. There we go. So that was actually the thing I was looking for. So I'm just gonna retreat. We'll use that black market and we'll go with that energy attachment, or maybe not. Let's see, let's just first go with the build Spite And let's go straight away with research for 7. All right. Research for 7. Unfortunately, not the card that I needed. I needed that rainbow energy. Tool Scraper, Boss Order, or Switch. I think I'm gonna grab myself a Boss Order for now. Aurora Energy can be used. Won't need that. Tapu Fini for sure. And I'm just going to retreat into my Gami and hit one more time for 70. There we go. Reshizard is very close to be knocked out, and next turn I'm looking forward basically to hit with my Spirit Tomb if I get lucky. So right now my opponent trying to get lucky with the heads so he can knock one of those Oricorios or the Deans on the bench. That is actually very good for him if he can do that, and unfortunately he can, and he will be able to do that with the Outrage for 190. He moves down to 3 prize cards. I still have 6 prize cards left, but right now I can actually take the knockout. Let's see what I can find with the Stellar Wish. Scoop up net. Alright. Not gonna need it for sure. Well, I'm gonna probably need that Nile Ego, but let's just wait for now with it. Building Spite, Building Spite. If I hit for 70 more, that is just 250, so that's not enough for the knockout. But if I hit for 100 with a Spirit Tomb, that should be enough for the knockout. Alright, so with that being said, I'm just gonna Anguish Cry his Reshizard. Oh, actually, no, I'm still short for like 10. Oh, I miscalculated myself here. Okay. So, how in the world I miscalculate that? It was 160, so never mind. It's still okay, because even if he knocks me out, he won't take a prize card. And that's the good thing. So he didn't take a prize card for this knockout, and I'm just gonna try to basically use this Marnie here and draw some fresh cards. There is a Zigzagoon, so that's okay. At the end I can knock the Reshizard out, plus I can take 3 prize cards, and at the end actually turns out to be a good move that I even misplayed that knockout, because right now I can actually grab myself 5 prize cards, which is just insane. So let's go with a Build Spite, let's go with a Rainbow Energy attachment, and all suddenly I'm hitting for 130, 190, and this bad boy has 210 HP, which means that we don't have enough for the knockout against him. So there is another Marnie. Alright. I'm not gonna have enough for the knockout against this Torkoal Wii on the bench. So something tells me that I should retreat on the Gami and basically force my opponent here to potentially... Alright, so first I'm going to do this and put Mr. Jinx on the bench and transfer 1 damage on my Spirit Tomb. So right now this Torkoal is in the range for the knockout, and ram his Volcanion for 70. So if he wants to knock my Gami, he will need a extra energy for Volcanion and also Pokemon Catcher for the knockout against Spirit Tomb on the bench. And there's a catcher. Unfortunately this time he flipped tails. Alright, so there's a Pokegear 3.0 for the welder. This game is still very close. I'm basically a way of boss order for a win. So there is ordinary rod. So I can basically void. I can nightclap my opponent probably for the knockout with that steam crash, or maybe even combustion pillar. So that should also be enough. It says that I need to discard a top card of my deck. I can even high hit blast for 50. That should be also enough for the knockout. Let me see something out. So I first need to use that build spite, then I will move one of my damage counters from Spirit Tomb onto another Spirit Tomb. So game change here. I'm going all in with my research there, and I will just prepare the knockout next turn with my boss order against his Torkoal V on the bench. Okay, so I can knock this Volcanion out with my Anguish Cry for like 100 and move down to 2 price cards. And if my opponent have Catcher or Boss Order in his hand, he can win the game by knocking out this the DNGX out. But if not, I'll probably have enough. Oh, there's a Janie. Okay, so he can still find a way to get maybe Great Catcher or another Pokemon Catcher for the win. So if that can happen, he can clearly win the game. So there is a Fire Crystal. So far looks like there's not going to be enough catchers for my opponent to close this game up. Which means that I don't even need to use the boss order. All I really need... Oh, actually, I will need to use it. He just definitely wants to collect some cards. That's a good thing, because as long as the black market stays in play, he don't lose a prize card. But there's a catch. I can build Spite and add a damage, and right now I'm hitting for 160 plus 60 more for the Hustle Belt. That is actually enough for the knockout with my boss order against his Torkoal V. And that's the GG. 220 for the last 2 prize cards in the game. Energy and another Jinx. So clearly you can see that this deck works perfect. It is a pretty cool deck and also very strong deck. So let's just take a closer look at our opponent deck list and see what he played. So he used 1 Jinx, 2 Slugmas, Macargo ×1, probably also 1 Macargo GX, 4 Volcanions, 2 Grimers, Reshiram GX ×2, Reshiram, and 2 Torkoal Vs. So unfortunately just 1 copy of Macargo in his build. Energy Spinner, Ordinary Rod, 4 switches, 4 catchers, 2 recycle systems, only 1 Fire Crystal. Okay, only 1 Fire Crystal, so overall not the best consistent list for my opponent. But once again, here is the deck list that I use in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Let me also know in the comments below what you think about this deck list. And yeah, till the next time, have a nice day, and we'll see you again.